to really be of service to all our members and other stakeholders.
So, sir, Pag-Ibig, safe to say, is healthy despite the crisis. So, wala naman pong naging negative effect yung moratorium and yung grace period that you imposed on your borrowers, particularly.
Yes, yes. Tina, so these are really extraordinary times. In fact, if you've noticed it, Pag-Ibig Fund was one of the first. In fact, we were the first agency to immediately declare a 3-month moratorium that our members can avail of. We announced that immediately after the announcement of the ECQ on March 17. So yeah, so we immediately did that because we know that the impact on our members would be so huge, and so the moratorium was offered for 90 days, and now it's only now that we are starting to, of course, experience yeah, so we're now experiencing the effects of that, but it's part of our plans, of course.
Beyond the moratorium and the 30-day grace period, for that matter, mid the pandemic, we I we do not have the government's requirement is for us to stay at home, but a lot of us do not have a house to begin with. What is
Yes.
Pag-Ibig is doing on this matter?
Yeah, yeah, Vernon. In fact, the grace period became a 2.5 months grace period, and between our own moratorium for 3 months versus the grace period under the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, or the RA 11469, it's actually the latter that has a bigger impact financially on the fund. Under the law, we were allowed to accrue interest, but we cannot collect. We have to give our members the option to pay on staggered basis until the end of the loan term. Now, imagine we have loans that are, with maturity or loan term of 30 years. So they have 30 years option to pay within 30 years, remaining term of their loans for those accrued interest. So we couldn't collect those. But as far as the fund is concerned, I thank you, the Daily Tribune, for carrying our good news to our members. It's not that good news if we compare it to the previous year's performance, specifically last year, but comparing it with other similar industries, the commercial banks, universal banks. So the net income dropped by 12%. It was only 14.14 billion, but comparing it with similar size universal banks that had a huge drop in their net income. So I'd say that Pag-Ibig Fund is doing great. And we have prepared the fund quite nice because over the years we've strengthened our investable funds, our position, and one of the silver linings of this pandemic is that it allowed us to reposition our government securities. We have around 34 billion pesos that used to carry mark-to-market losses as high as 15 billion pesos or 17 billion pesos mark-to-market loss. In short, if we sold them, we would have lost 30% of the value. But we have repositioned them to be very proactive and to support our lending for the next 12 to 18 months.
How large is your housing loan portfolio, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, so as of June this year, it's now at around 520 billion pesos.
Wow. So, sir, I understand several weeks back, Pag-Ibig announced that its new promo on its housing loans. Can you tell us more about this, sir?
Yes, yes. Tina, you know what? Even during the lockdown or the MECQ, ECQ time, the first time, not this one, we already started to engage the socialized and low-cost housing industry by talking to the developer associations. And we are addressing it two-pronged. We have a two-pronged approach or strategy. One, of course, is on the supply side. We've allocated up to 10 billion pesos to provide liquidity to the developers while they are working with other government agencies such as the Registry of Deeds, BIR, etc. because of the shortened work hours, etc. Now, on the demand side, we've heard, even during the lockdown, we were processing accounts because we knew that we have to provide liquidity to the industry. Otherwise, a lot of them would slow down. A lot of them might have to let go of their people, and there's going to be a deeper impact on the outlook of the industry as a whole. So on the supply, on the demand side, we pushed for the lowering of the rates. It's a promo that will run until end of the year to encourage members who may have thought of delaying their purchase to push through with it. So for the 3-year fixing, it used to be 6.375%. It's now down to 5.375%. That's a 100 basis points reduction. For our 1-year fixing, which is already the lowest in the market. From 5.3, it's now down to 4.9%. So if you guys, Tina and Vernon, if you guys are thinking of buying your own places or houses, now is the right time to do it.
You can expect a phone call from me, sir.
Soon.
Yes, of course, of course.
So anyways,
We'd be glad.
Sir, have you seen a spike in the availment of this calamity, multipurpose loans, and housing loans during this pandemic?
Yeah. For the calamity and multipurpose loans, so we group them, we lump them into short-term loans. There's in fact a drop. 30% drop, 37% drop year on year. It's mainly because, remember, during those 2.5 months, ECQ and MECQ time, our members couldn't go to our branches, and our branches were all closed. So we had to do something to really help our members. So what we did was, we allowed members to file calamity loans via emails because we said, extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. And as Lingkod Pag-Ibig, we call ourselves Lingkod Pag-Ibig. As Lingkod Pag-Ibig, it's our duty, sworn duty to help and serve our members. So we did that. There's actually a drop, but we were able to process, billions of pesos worth of short-term loans. On the housing loan, there's also a big drop from 37 billion lending first half of last year. It's just 20 billion this year. Again, the reason for that was, because of the lockdown, developers couldn't go to us. But as of now, with the new interest rates of Pag-Ibig Fund, we lent almost 5 billion pesos for the month of July. So the promo rates, the discounted rates or lowered rates started in July, and so it went up to around 5 billion from June's almost 3 billion. So that's a 40% spike in borrowings from our members, from around 3 billion to 5 billion in July. And we hope that by August this month, although, in the banking sector, as someone who used to work for a couple of banks, they consider mid of August as ghost month. But we are hoping that from 5 billion, it will go up to 7 billion total loans for the month of August, which will be our pre-pandemic level of business.
Next up, Pag-Ibig's plan post-COVID on the shelter market after the short break.
With these cell sites, it affords us better cooperation and communication with the outside world. Because it is vital for FU and RMF to have this. We are now dependent on this cellular signal, and it has helped us a lot. Connectivity is not a problem because we allowed these cell sites to prevail and to be on our roof deck and our helipad. Hindi tayo mawalan ng signal sa lahat ng rooms namin dahil may cell site tayo sa taas. It's one of our major advantages. I think that's the greatest decision that I was a part of, because if not, we would probably be in a worse case right now. I'm thankful that we allowed these cell sites to be installed. I'd like to think and hope that all hospitals have that. We have not had any case of cancer regarding cell sites. As a matter of fact, we employ many cell sites and many boosters inside the hospital. For us, it has saved lives. I think with this new normal, we have realized that we are more dependent on this technology. Cell sites, if not connectivity, are a must.
Nais po naming humingi ng paumanhin sa anumang pag-aalalang naidulot ng ating bills ngayong Mayo at Hunyo. Di po namin inasahan ang naging hirap para sa ating lahat dulot ng COVID-19 pandemic.
Pero nakapagbasa na kami ng Metro, kaya ang May at June bills ay may actual meter reading na ng inyong konsumo. Ito ay maaaring bayaran ng installment depende sa inyong konsumo noong February 2020. Kung wala sa bahay o sarado ang shop noong ECQ, makikita ang adjustment sa inyong bills ng Mayo o Hunyo. Kung nabayaran na ang inyong estimated March at April bills, pwede itong i-refund sa aming business centers or i-apply sa susunod na bills. Para naman sa mga di nakatanggap ng bill noong Mayo, huwag pong mabigla kung mataas ang ating bill sa Hunyo dahil sakop nito ang inyong nakonsumo noong ECQ. Pero para makagaan, 1/4 lang muna nito ang kailangan bayaran. Ang balanse, pwedeng i-installment.
At good news, bumaba ang overall electricity rates ng 2 centavos per kilowatt hour ngayong Hunyo. 2 buwan nang magkasunod ang pagbaba ng rates. Hanggang sa susunod na Meralco Advisory.
And we're back. Before we took a short break, we asked Pag-Ibig CEO Rizaldy Acmad regarding Pag-Ibig's plan post-COVID on the shelter market. So, sir, what are your plans?
Yeah. You know what, Bernard? So we've been working round the clock since April, May, looking already at 2021, 2022. It takes around 18 to 24 months for developers, subdivision developers, to start selling from the time that they open a project. For example, when they do the groundbreaking, it takes 18 months to 24 months before they start selling. So what we are trying to prevent is for our partner developers, around 600 of them all over the country, to suddenly postpone or delay their expansion plans. So that's why, April, May. Noong May, we introduced we increased our budget for dev loans or for the house construction financing line, which is providing liquidity to developers who have yet to get takeouts from us. So again, even on that side, so we have two strategies for that: fast track the takeouts of our buyers, so that we can release to the developers from where they got units, where they bought houses. And at the same time, for those who are, still dealing with other government agencies, they can avail of bridge financing from Pag-Ibig Fund. So we have a 10 billion fund for that, and we're offering it all over the country. The plan really is, number one, to prevent a huge drop in production level in socialized and low-cost housing. Low-cost housing would be loans up to 1.7 million per unit. And the second one is to influence the immediate recovery of the said low-cost housing industry, including socialized housing, by providing so much liquidity. Now, so far, I would want to say that since we lent out 3 billion in June and another 5 billion in July, so there's 8 billion liquidity plus the 2 billion during the lockdown. So we are looking at enough liquidity, but we hope to go back to 7 billion a month. 7 billion a month worth of releases, so that the whole industry won't slow down, or even for developers of ours to not delay or postpone their expansion plans. Otherwise, what will be affected will be 2021 performance of the fund in 2022. 2020 targets, I told all the officers, forget about those targets because it's so fluid. The situation is so fluid. So I told them to just focus, for all Likod Pag-Ibig, to focus on the quality of service that we provide to members. So sabi ko, ang hirap hulaan eh. Anytime there can be another lockdown, and members cannot go again to our branches. So just focus on the quality of service, because that's what our members need. But we have to prevent. We have to prevent potential impacts on 2021, 2022 performance. So yun yung ginawa namin. On the demand side, we're helping all the borrowers, the members, by lowering the rates. And on the supply side, we are providing so much liquidity so that everybody, the whole ecosystem, from the developers to their suppliers to the contractors, etc., they will be, there's going to be enough liquidity because, if there's one big learning that we can take away from the subprime crisis in the U.S. in 2008, it was that lack of liquidity or a lack of credit can really cripple the economy. So that's what we're preventing for the socialized and low-cost housing industry.
So, sir, what is your near-term outlook on the property sector as a whole and its long-haul prospects as well?
Yeah. No, for short term, because Pag-Ibig Fund's performance is a reflection of the industry that we cover, and I keep mentioning the socialized and low-cost housing because that's where we play a huge part. Now, short term, this year, for example, we were so prepared to bring the level of loans a year to 100 billion by end of 2020. In fact, as of January, February, we were that the growth was year on year 16% growth. If annualized at 16%, our 86.7 billion housing loan releases last year would have been, end of the year would have hit around 105 billion pesos. It's just that the pandemic happened, and we would be lucky if we hit 80 billion, most probably based on our stress tests that we conducted last April. Housing loans would probably hit around between 70 to 80 billion pesos if we're lucky. So that's what we're trying to do. And at the same time, we're already looking at next year and 2022, etc. Now, I can only speak for the socialized and low-cost housing industry or the mass housing industry. And I would want to believe that the interventions that we have put in place will have a minimal impact on the near-term and medium-term outlook of the industry. I cannot speak on behalf of the open market because we can only lend up to 6 million. Beyond that, ang hirap hulaan. But for the ones that we cover, townhouses worth 1 million, 1.7 million, up to 2 million. What I know is, based on feedback also from developer organizations, associations, we've told them, don't worry about financing. Pag-Ibig Fund is here to provide financing, to provide loans to our members, and they can buy whatever they want to buy, subject, of course, to certain conditions. So I would want to believe that the interventions that we've made would really prevent a big downturn on the low-cost housing industry.
Beyond your intervention, sir, and the stimulus nga, how possible it is for Pag-Ibig to take a step further to allow its members to pay their loans with social services?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Can it be possible for the loans to be paid with social services in the long run?
Social services. In kind, you mean?
In kind, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to highlight this one because especially that Tina is now thinking of availing of a housing loan.
Yeah.
You know
Yes,
what?
sir.
The penalty policy of Pag-Ibig Fund. The penalty policy of Pag-Ibig Fund. It's very borrower friendly. Why do I say that? As somebody who used to work for the banking industry, when you fail to pay your loan for more than 3 months, the loan defaults. When it defaults, the whole balance, the total loan balance, will become due and demandable, and you will be penalized at 18% against the total balance. So if you borrowed 1 million, it becomes due and demandable, and it's 18% or 180,000 penalty per year for the 1 million total. For Pag-Ibig Fund, if you fail to pay 3 months and monthly amortization is, say, 5,000 pesos, so that's 15,000 unpaid amortizations, your penalty will just be 18% of the missed payments. That's 18% of the 15,000. It's not 18% of the total balance. Now, so that's the reason why a lot of our borrowers, can easily recover whenever they would encounter financial difficulties. And what we're saying is, moving forward, for example, how's our non-performing loans? Our non-performing loans as of June, it's still practically the same to our performing loans ratio or non-performing loans rate prior to COVID. It's 9%. But if we have a NPL 5 ratio, if we include loans up to 5 months in arrears, it's around 4%. So in short, there's no not big an impact yet as of June, but we are monitoring August and September. But this early, I would want to share to all the katribo that Pag-Ibig Fund is seriously looking at all the accounts of our borrowers na mga yung mga performing loans prior to COVID. We will definitely run campaigns that will help them restructure their loans. So in short, Pag-Ibig Fund will do everything to thank all our borrowers, our member borrowers who have helped the fund grow so much now that they need our help. So definitely we will do a campaign, targeted campaign, to help all the deserving member borrowers retain their houses. The last thing that we want is to foreclose.
Ayan. So we still have a lot to ask our guest for today, Pag-Ibig CEO, Acmad, Rizaldy, Moti. But first, we will go on a short break, courtesy of Pag-Ibig.
Kumusta ka na? Isang taon na naman ang nakalipas. Kahit isang saglit, sumagi ba ako sa isip mo? Buwan-buwan, inaabangan ko ang mga sulyap mo, kahit parang di mo naman ako napapansin. Ganun pa man, sana malaman mo kung gaano ka kahalaga sa akin. Poprotektahan kita. Aalagaan. Laging nandyan kung mayroon kang kailangan. Higit sa lahat, titiyakin kong maayos ang iyong kinabukasan. Hinding-hindi ako magkukulang, pangako yan. Ganyan ang tunay at tapat kong pag-ibig.
And we're back. We're still here with Pag-Ibig CEO, Acmad, Rizaldy, Moti. So, sir, we're going to take one question from our followers. May concern yata siya. He's been requesting for a consolidation. Sabi niya, I request for a consolidation before I apply for a loan para naman hindi sayang yung mga dati kong contributions sa ibang pinagtrabahuhan ko. 3 years na akong nagre-request ng consolidation pero nauun siya dahil una, may problema yata sa spelling ng pangalan niya. Tapos, kulang pa daw yung contributions niya and gusto ng Pag-Ibig, latest remittance receipt ng, I guess, ng present company. Pwede daw po bang receipt ng remittance muna nung December 2019 ang ibigay niya para naman matapos na yung consolidation niya?
Yeah. We would appreciate if you can get the contact details of the katribo who asked that question. Ang medyo mahirap doon sa case niya, yung mali ang spelling ng pangalan kasi we cannot assume that it's one and the same person.
Okay,
But definitely we will help with the consolidation. Kailangan lang ng affidavit na one and the same person yon. Tapos yung ibang contributions, the reason why we would ask for payslips para nakikita kung yung employer ba talaga ay nagbabayad, etc. But mabilis na yung consolidation namin ngayon, unlike a couple of years ago. So ngayon, kinakaya na yan in a matter of 1 day or 2 days kung pare-pareho na pangalan. Kaya ang ano dyan is kung iba ang pangalan, ang hirap na i-assume na one and the same person kasi baka mamaya it belongs to another person. But we will help. If we can get the details, I'll ask somebody to get in touch with the katribo who asked that question.
Okay, sir.
This one, another question from a netizen. Ano po yung projected housing loan take-up ngayong taon? And ano po yung actual rate at present?
Yeah. Yung target namin this year was 95 billion worth of takeouts for 2020. And as of February, we were on track to hit that. But with the pandemic, we would be lucky based on the most likely scenario of our stress tests. We would be lucky if we hit 80 billion this year. I believe it will be between 70 to 80 billion. So we're praying that it can be higher. But we would be lucky if we hit 80 billion this year.
So, sir, kanina kasi napag-uusapan natin yung mga borrowers natin na nabigyan ng grace period, yung moratorium sa mga naging paghiram nila sa Pag-Ibig. Pero paano naman po yung mga katulad ko na nag-iisip na mag-loan sa Pag-Ibig? How do we start? What are the prerequisites? How do we go about it?
Yeah. Actually, any member who wants to buy a property, if you go to the website, the or www.pagibigfund.gov.ph, under the benefits you can see housing loan there, and everything actually is there. And if I may mention it also, even on the website, there's an icon, lower right portion of the screen. There's an icon there, chat icon. If you click on it, it's open. It's a chat service open 24/7, being manned by real people. So kung may mga katanungan, pwede na doon. And once you've decided to borrow or to buy a property, you can email us, you can call us. I'll check I'll check the status of the online housing loan application system because we're working on that one. Para talagang everything will be via virtual Pag-Ibig. For multi-purpose loan and calamity loan application, it's online now. Just go to the website, follow the steps. If everything's online, it will ask you for a selfie holding your cash card, and it gets processed and credited to your account. So we have a similar one that we will launch for online housing. And again, as I mentioned, now is the time, and now is the right time to buy. If you are in a position, or if you have plans of buying, by all means, contact us. You can email us. You can go to our chat service. You can use our chat service, or you can call us. Definitely, Alingkod Pag-Ibig will serve you.
We have another question, partner?
Yeah. Again, Pag-Ibig CEO Acmad, Rizaldy, Moti. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
sir, sayang ang dami pa namin sanang gustong
Yeah.
itanong sa inyo. Ang sarap ng kwentuhan natin.
Yep.
We're learning a lot about Pag-Ibig and what it can offer the citizens. We hope to have you again next time, sir. We hope that this won't be the last time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
your
sure.
your last message pala, sir, sa ating mga katribo.
Yes. Thank you again, Tina and Vernon. So, sa lahat ng mga katribo, kami po ay nananawagan sa lahat ng ating mga miyembro na nagpaplanong bumili or magkaroon ng sariling bahay. Ngayon po ang tamang panahon para po mangyari na yung inaasam natin na magkaroon ng sariling tahanan. Ang inyong lingkod, Pag-Ibig Workforce ay naririto para kayo ay pagsilbihan. Ibinaba na natin ang rates. Feel free to avail of it. And if there's one takeaway that we can share with everybody, it's that your Pag-Ibig Fund is as strong as ever. We have, we've grown so much in the last 3 years, and it's Pag-Ibig Fund's responsibility now also to give a lending hand to all our members, affected members by this pandemic. So again, thank you. I would want to thank also all the Likod Pag-Ibig who have been sacrificing so much. So maraming salamat po at magandang araw.
Thank you, sir. Once again, Pag-Ibig CEO Acmad, Rizaldy P. Moti. And here's a video from Pag-Ibig.
So what's your 2 cents, Tina?
I'm applying for a loan.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah.
No, because I've been mulling about it for a long time. And tama rin naman yung sinabi ni Sir Acmad na
It's the right time.
Yeah, there's no better time than now. Let's not wait until we're hit with a crisis or whatever. Kung kaya naman, and sabi nga nila, they're borrower-friendly. So, yeah, we're Pag-Ibig members, then we should at least take advantage of our benefits. Diba?
And it's so easy and it's so transparent, diba, sabi niya.
Yeah, and basing from our discussion earlier, na our money, the contributions we give to Pag-Ibig are in safe hands and we can benefit from it. Diba? Ako kasi for the longest time I've been thinking it's between a new car or a house. So syempre, the more obvious choice is a house kasi it
More practical.
appreciates over time, diba? So sana then yung mga Pag-Ibig members, Pag-Ibig has a lot of services that they can offer you, a lot of loans that you can benefit from. It's not just the housing loan, it's not just the calamity loan. There's the multi-purpose loan, So take advantage. Sabi nga nila, there's no better time to borrow from Pag-Ibig than now.
Then now, yeah.
And with that, this has been Tina Maralit.
And I am Vernon Velasco.
And before we go, catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph, and follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online.
You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store and Google Play to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Tribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. 32 emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link on the video below to join. I am Vernon Velasco.
And this has been Tina Maralit for Straight Talk. Catch you again next week.
In the days ahead, we need to lean on the values that make us a great company, the Malasakit, for which we are known, and the understanding that, as San Miguel, we stand for something far greater than ourselves, that we have the responsibility to extend a hand to those who most need it. It is our sense of duty and obligation, pagkakaisa and malasakit, that will see us through these difficult times. Kwentong Malasakit.